So, welcome to the latest edition of TED Listens. My name is Ted Wigsell. I'm from your business community. I'm joined today by Sheila Chadha from the Credit Collections Company. Sheila, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your business.
So my business is called the Credit Collections Company, as Ted mentioned, and we are here to help businesses prevent and manage bad debts. So obviously a lot of businesses are struggling right now, and so it's a hot topic.
A lot of people, when they hear credit collections, think of people knocking on doors and baseball bats, but how does it really work?
Well, that's a good question. So basically, we don't do that,
No.
first of all.
Okay.
No. Actually, I have to say, you can attract more with honey than you can with vinegar. And the answer's simple, because at the end of the day, when people are in trouble, they just want someone to talk to. And I think that the old scenario of getting a baseball bat actually does not work nowadays. The aggressive method doesn't work. And I think that's where we deliver something different. You know, it's more about talking to people, engaging with them, because I think people are scared often. And of course, there are people who think they can get away with it, and we deal with them very differently.
Keeping on top of your debt book, for want of a better expression, is very important. But when does a late payment become a bad debt?
So in this current economic climate, I think I normally recommend anything above 90 days, there should be red warning flags. So if the debt is not already disputed, you should be doing something. And if you've not already escalated, you should be talking, not necessarily to me, but do talk to someone, whether it's a lawyer, solicitor, or a debt collection agency, because at the end of the day, that means there is something badly wrong. So if the customer hasn't already raised a dispute, and the reason I say 3 months, whereas before it would have been 6 months, the rate of insolvencies are increasing through the roof. And therefore, the first thing I look at when a client approaches us is the company still trading? So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, it's really bad right now.
So the government have got something called the prompt payment. Okay, and more bigger companies are signing up with prompt payment.
Yes.
They agree to settle invoices in 30 or 60 days, which is great. But I'm aware personally through our business that it can take you 1 or 2 months to get on their payment cycles before they even start the 30 or 60 days. So
Yes.
how do you resolve that?
I mean, it's difficult because if you're a small business and you want to do business with a larger company, let's say corporate, I mean, obviously it's great for your business, first of all. You have to think, you need a lot of foresight, and you need to plan well before you start doing that, because you've got to realize that it's going to hit your cash flow initially. Now, a lot of people think that because I'm doing business with a big company, I'm safe. Well, no, actually, if a bank can go down, then a big business, I mean, you've seen in the high street, a lot of businesses have recently gone down. So I think you need to make sure that whoever you're trading with, whether it's a small business or a large company, that it's robust and that they can afford to pay you, because you don't want to be 60 days in the hole, someone owing you, because that could literally take you down. Now, in terms of answering your question, there are some things you can do, like credit checking, check the robustness, the financials. There's methodology. You can pay for a report. You can go online, for example, in credit bureaus, and approach them and just have a look. Just make sure they're profitable. Don't just assume that because they're a big boy, as in a big corporate company, that they are safe. And there is a lot of misconception that, because they're a high street brand, I'm safe. No, trust me, they're not.
Yeah, I've got an order from a high street bank. I've made it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily. You've only made it if you get paid.
Yes.
And it's not a question of the invoice you're owed. It's the money you've laid out in the first place.
Exactly. And one of the things that I talk about is you're not a charity and you're not a bank. Unfortunately, a lot of people say, I've written off £500 or £1,000. Now, to a small business, that's a lot of money, right? And some people come to me and say, well, I think it might be too small for you guys. No amount is too small for us. Even as little as £200. If it's important to our clients, then it's important to us. But what people do is they write off these debts thinking there's no chance. Well, have you given it a try? Go to someone. There's loads of members at your business community that can help. There's myself, there's Alan. There's loads of companies outside that you can turn to for help. Don't just give up. Don't just throw in the towel. And don't just think that you have to spend a lot of money resolving the issue.
You've touched on it, so I'll mention it as the last point before we close. You submitted a blog which we published recently called "Are You Rich?"
Yes.
And that's basically what you're talking about there, isn't
Yes,
it?
that's right. Are you rich? If you're not rich, then you need to come and talk to us. But actually, honestly, we are really genuinely here to help people because I have a real passion for it. I feel really, I don't know, there's something in me that I get really upset when I have to deliver bad news. And because people aren't being proactive, unfortunately, in our business, a lot of people are reactive
Yeah.
instead of being proactive. So, for example, doing a simple check, doing checks and balances. Is the company, for example, if I was to say to you that this director you're doing business with has dissolved 10 companies, are you going to do business with? Something as simple as that. Go to company's
Warning
house,
signs,
check.
yeah.
Company's house is free. Just go in and check and know who you're doing business with. And if you need advice, obviously I'm a mentor as well now with the YBC, so I'm always happy to guide people. You know, I'm very passionate about what I do.
And I think, Sheila's exactly right. That 500 quid small debt, it's not about the money, it's about the principle. No, don't let these people get away with it. So, Sheila, thank you.
You're welcome.
That is today's edition of TED Listens. You can find it on our YouTube channel, which is Your Business Community, on our website, which is yourbusinesscommunity.co.uk. Thank you, Sheila. I hope you found that informative. We look forward to seeing you again soon.